Good morning, everyone. This is a 15-minute yoga workout session. So roll out your mats and let's start by crossing your legs and take a few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Let's now move to our cat-cow position. So as you breathe in, bend your chest and out, release. In and out. Try and keep your arms straight when you breathe out and don't move back. So keep them perpendicular to the floor. Now to add to that, as you breathe in, take your arm and leg out. So left arm, right leg, and follow the movement with your breath. So let's do about 5 of these. And then let's switch to the other side. So as you breathe in, leg and arm out. Then bring it to your chest and to your elbow. And let's repeat this a few times. Try and keep your body and your arm and your leg perpendicular to the floor. Now let's move back. Spread your legs and sit on your heels. And take a few deep breaths here. Now let's go into the downward dog. Start by walking out your legs. And then try and bring your heels all the way down. And walk to your arms. Take a deep breath in and out. And then arms up. Take a deep breath in and release. Breathe in, arms out. Move back, chaturanga. Try and keep your back straight. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here, then move your leg up. Then bring it to your chest. So leg up, then bring your knee to your chest as you breathe out. Let's do a few rotations. Now let's switch our legs, so left leg up into your chest. Try and keep your arms straight here. And try not to move your leg sideways as you bring it out. So now let's hop back, take a deep breath in and out. Let's come back up, take a deep breath in, go on your toes. And let's do another namaskar round. So breathe in and out, follow your breath, chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Let's take a few breaths here and hop back up, breathe in and breathe out. And let's come back up, then bring your arms down. So now we're going to move on into a tree pose. So take your left leg out, bend your knee, then bring your arms up, rotate them to the left And then as you go down, release your leg and touch the floor with your right arm and bring the other arm all the way up. So feel free to keep your right arm slightly to the side. This makes it a bit easier for the balance. Now, to make it a bit more difficult, bend your knee and hold it with your left arm. Try and straighten your leg. And now let's come back up, and without touching the floor, bring the knee all the way up. Take a deep breath, and let's come down and switch to the other side. Bend your left leg, then move your arms up. Take a deep breath, then hold your left arm in front of you and the right one behind you, and release your leg and touch the floor with your left arm. Try and keep your back straight. Look up onto your opposite arm. Now let's bend your knee again and push the foot into your hand for a deeper stretch. Now let's release. Take a deep breath, bring your knee up and release. Well done, that was quite a difficult pose. So now let's do a bit of stretching. Bend your right knee and then bring your foot all the way to your groin. Now take your left leg and stretch the knee down to your chest with your hands. Feel free to stretch out the leg and bring the calf down. Just see whatever feels more comfortable or more useful in your case. And let's switch sides, so foot to the groin, and push down on your opposite knee with your hands, or stretch your leg down and push down your calf, and keep your leg straight in this case. And keep your foot tense and straight as well. And now let's release, shake it out. Now let's bring both of our foot into a cross-legged position, if you can. If not, let's just do one on your groin and the other one onto your knee. This might be a little bit easier. And if you can, push it down to your chest, then stretch it out. And then let's shake the legs out and switch to the other side. Again, first push them out, away from you, and then bring it back. And feel free to roll a little bit from side to side. And now let's release. Shake it out. Bring your foot onto your bottom as you release it. And then bring your legs down. Now let's cross your legs and move them to the side. So right leg on top of left knee, and you move to the left side. And try and keep your right shoulder on the floor and look to the right as well. With each breath, try and move a little bit further. Don't worry if you can't touch the floor with your knee just yet. It will come eventually. Now let's switch sides, so left leg over right, and move to the right. And let's look the opposite way, and stretch our left arm out, and feel free to keep the right arm on your knee. This is a really nice stretch for the back. Now let's release. And let's bring our legs back to the floor. Cross your palms. Try and touch the floor with your toes, but keep your legs straight. And if you can't touch just yet, keep the legs hovering over. And with a few breaths, you might be able to bring them all the way down. But make sure you don't bend your knees. So now as you breathe in, bring your legs up. Keep your arms on the floor. Let's stretch out your toes. And then when you're ready, bring your hands and put them on your back. And now we're going to try a rather difficult pose. Keep your left arm bent and bring your bottom onto your palm. Stretch out your legs to the side. Keep the opposite arm on the floor. And then let's switch to the other side. Stretch out your palm underneath your bottom. And keep your legs diagonal to the floor. Now let's come back. And then bring your legs all the way down behind your head. And now let's bend the knees and move them next to your ears. This is a nice relaxing pose. Let's take a few deep breaths here. And now let's stretch out your legs. Take your toes with your fingers. And as you breathe in, come up with your legs straight. And as you breathe out, go back down and roll to the back. Try and keep your legs as straight as possible and keep a slight distance between your feet. Try and maintain the balance, but if you can't, just come back up and try again. Now let's bring our legs closer together and let's stretch forward. So if you can, take your heels with your hands and try and bring them closer to the chest without bending them. But if not, just keep your fingers on your big toes. And now let's come back down and do a Sukhasana cross-legged position. So if you can, cross your legs. This is also called a lotus pose. But if you can't, just try and cross one leg and then keep the other one on top of your knee or below your knee. And then cross the hands behind you and try and touch them with your toes. And let's come down. Try and put your head on the floor. But if you can't, just keep it up and take a few deep breaths here. Let's move on to a more difficult position. So come up onto your knees. Take your palms out, put them onto the floor sideways. Stretch out your legs and try and hover on your palms for a few seconds. And then bring your legs back. Let's move on to a downward facing dog. Just walk it out a little bit. And now let's hop to the front and switch to the other leg. So this time, put your left leg underneath and your right leg on top. Again, cross your hands behind you. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, bring your head all the way down if you can. And take a few moments here. And now let's come back up and repeat the same thing. Try and hover for as long as possible, but if not, feel free to skip this pose and move on to the downward facing dog. Now let's hop forward and move on to our Shavasana pose. So stretch your legs out and your arms out, palms up. And let's take a few deep breaths here to meditate and to reflect on how our body is feeling after this intense workout. Feel free to stay here for as long as you wish. And when you're ready, come back up. Thank you so much, and see you next time.